Hi guys, I'm Gaurav, a true hustler by profession, biker and sneakerhead by passion. That's the way I want to define myself. Currently, I have my own startup that's called Thunderpod. It's into the health and fitness space. Please do go and check it out. Guys, I graduated in the year 2016 from NMIMS, and by far to date, in 2020, I have almost 5 to 6 years of experience of working in startups. आप लोग सोच रहे होगे यार कि 2016 I graduated, 2020 it is. The math doesn't seem right for my experience. Let me tell you what all happened in 2014 and 15 and how my experience count is 5 to 6 years. So 2011 I joined the college and I was in the Shirpur batch. As you guys already know, the exposure over there and things to do over there were limited because it was a residential campus. So in 2013, which is a technical internship year for us in BTech, I joined a company which is based in Bangalore that is called Woopler. उसके बाद से मेरी स्टार्टअप की जर्नी स्टार्ट हुई. आई वर्क विद देम फॉर ऑलमोस्ट 2 months एंड इन दैट 2 months ड्यूरेशन आई गॉट अ नैक ऑफ इट कि एक स्टार्टअप में क्या क्या चीज़ें लगती हैं, कैसे काम होता है. आई वॉज एक्चुअली द फर्स्ट इंटर्न इन दैट कंपनी टू ज्वाइन एंड लेटर आई बिकेम वन ऑफ द कोर टीम मेंबर्स इन दैट कंपनी. दैट्स हाउ द जर्नी स्टार्टेड. उसके बाद जब MBA की इंटर्नशिप की बारी आई तो आई ऑप्टेड आउट फ्रॉम द प्लेसमेंट प्रोसेस बिकॉज द कंपनी ऑलरेडी कॉल्ड मी एंड सेड दैट डोंट वरी, डोंट गो एनीवेयर, जस्ट कम एंड वर्क विद अस अगेन. In the duration of 2013 and 14, I was actually working for them as an intern for a period of a year. No money required, nothing. I was just working for the pure experience because then I was worried about my future, whether the college will get me a placement or not, or whether I'll be capable enough to get a placement out of college. That was the sole reason for me to continue working with them. I hustled in those 1.5 2 years a lot. And later, by the end of my management internship, the company gave me a pre-placement offer with this particular condition. I have to continue working for the company for the entire year or I will not have the job in hand or else I leave the college and join the company. I was left in that situation that if I leave the college, then I will not have a degree, and if I leave the job, then I'm not sure if I'm going to get the placement because I already opted out from the placement process. But then I took this challenge and 9 to 5 was my college hours and 6 to 2, 3, 4 became my office hours. So the sole intent for me to do this was to not miss out on the learning experience that I already had during my internship. I was actually promoted from an intern to a community manager during the period of my internship, and I was also promised that I will be heading the entire community piece whenever I join the company full time. So that learning phase is really important at any particular point of time when you are in your career and you have certain roles and responsibilities which are challenging to you. Please do take those challenges because nothing comes on the plate easy. And that was the intent for me to not miss out this opportunity. A big shout out to a lot of faculties of NMIMS who actually bared with me because I have to take a lot of calls in the middle. I actually have to attend a lot of meetings during the lecture hours. They actually gave me those permissions. So shout out to Kajitan sir, Christine ma'am, Prerna ma'am, and a lot of other faculties who have taught me. They allowed me to do so, and because of those circumstances and that time, I was able to manage a lot of things also and were able to deliver also a lot of things to the company that was expected. So thanks a lot at that point of time for supporting me. After that, guys, when the college was over in 2016, I joined Woopler for full time and I worked with them for 1.5 2 years. I think 2017 end or 2018 beginning, I parted ways with them. It was a very emotional journey because I've been working with them for almost 4.5 5 years, and whatever learnings I've got from that particular phase of my life, I still utilize them today in my work in some or the other way. It basically is an experience that I can never forget. But then what is more important to learn from that phase is I couldn't have a work-life balance because I was so passionate and put my heart, blood, sweat into my job that I literally forgot there are other things in life that are also to be prioritized. There were instances when my family visited Bangalore, I couldn't spend time with them. My friends planned certain trips, I couldn't be a part of them. And a lot more things that a person has to go through if you put your heart, blood, soul into something. And that was the phase that I had. It was a learning lesson for me to understand that it's really important to have a work-life balance. If you're not having that today, please try to incorporate that in your course of life, because if you don't have that, you will regret later some or the other day in your future. Moving further, guys, as I told you about work-life balance, so I wanted to incorporate that in my lifestyle. For my work life, I planned to do a startup of my own, but I wasn't that level of risk taker to leave everything apart and start from the very scratch. So I joined another company in Mumbai and I pitched them an idea of building a product which was basically for bloggers, influencers, and brands to work together. The platform is still live, it's called Collab. That was the sole idea for me to build that product, because while I was working in Woopler, I understood that there is a problem of brands and influencers working together, which was a complete manual way, and it is still today a manual way of working. I wanted to make a product where this could be automated, that any brand can work with any influencer of their choice and they can interact with each other in an automated system approach. But then guys, lesson number 2 for you all: never fall in love with your idea, because ideas are bullshit. It's all about the execution in startups. That's the learning that I got from my second journey. And in that particular phase of my life, I understood that whatever constraints you get in your execution, if you're not able to solve those, you will never be able to scale your startup to a level where it will become the next big thing. That has been my learning, guys. I stopped my thought process of making that company grow further because I realized there were a lot of technical constraints. There were a lot of business aspect that was coming into picture that couldn't scale the company. I dropped that plan of that company then and there. In startups, there is also one of the most important problems of uncertainty of funds. Yes, that's another lesson that I learned, that please be very sure about the company and the startup that you are willing to join, because most of the companies fail to plan their finances well. A lot of startups have died because of the same reason, because they don't plan their finances. They don't have a charter where they have their financial planning and their spends planning done properly. And because of that, a lot of employees have to suffer. Actually, I was suffering for almost 3 to 4 months while I was in Mumbai. There were no salaries for almost 3 months, no incentive, no money coming into the picture. I had to do a lot of other jobs in terms of freelancing, in terms of working with certain PR agencies to manage my bread and butter in Mumbai. And then actually I realized that even a pint of beer costs a lot. Yes, that was a phase of my life that I also had when I was in Mumbai. But then I luckily found another job and came back to a routine where I could stabilize my income, because I was not even in a phase to go back to my family and ask for money. I have lost that hope long back because I've already earned enough and I had my savings. I was surviving on that. But then my lesson number 3 for you all is that before you enter into any startup or you want to join any company, do a proper research. See what is the company's funding status, what is the company growth, what is the revenue model of that particular company, and be very clear about that before getting into that company. After the Mumbai life, guys, I shifted myself back to Bangalore. I got a job over here and I was parallelly working with Thunderpod in a stealth mode. Lesson number 4 for you guys, that if you don't manage your savings well, you will not be in a situation to do certain things and take certain risks in your life, like I was not able to do. Because if I would continue working on Thunderpod, we were just building the company. There were no initial funds. I didn't have enough capital at that point of time to manage my expenses. That was the sole reason I had to get into a job and get back into the financial state where I could save enough money and actually contribute to the company as well. That was the sole reason I had to take up a job, and I was again parallelly hustling from one job to the other job. So that's another lesson for you all, guys, that in whichever job you are, whatever salaries you're getting, try to make certain amount of savings, because if you don't have that, in any point of time in future, you want to do something of your own, or you want to spend something onto certain things you want to invest on, you need to have those savings. I actually lost all my savings just for managing my bread and butter in Mumbai when I was not paid in my previous company. That is a learning that I've got, that please do manage your expenses really well. Now coming to the conclusion, guys, of this particular video, I have given you enough lessons of working in startups. Let me tell you the benefits of working in startups. That is also important for you all to understand. If you are someone who's looking for extreme amount of exposure, extreme amount of learning, working with people who are freshly graduated and like-minded people together, I think startups are the best places to actually test your skills and test your brains, because over a period of time, you will understand what has been your learning growth and in what quick amount of time you have learned things, which will take you a lot more time, I think, in the other companies or in a corporate world. I haven't worked in the corporate world, so to be very honest, I can't tell that story or a journey from that perspective. But then what I've heard, my sister has been working in corporate for like 8 to 10 years. My other friends are still working. I somehow feel the learning experience, the exposure which you get in startups is way more higher as compared to any other companies which are already very big scale, and you have a dedicated job process to be executed. That is the sole thing that I was passionate about joining startups and having a own startup of my own. I think if you are someone who is having a similar mindset like me, please do feel free to connect with me. You can connect with me over LinkedIn, you can connect with me over Instagram or on even WhatsApp. If you want to reach out to me, you can email me. I will give you my email ID also on the screen. So feel free to talk to me about anything if you want to have any help related to your career and you want to know any more details about the startups. One thing which is very sure that you are coming to startups is the uncertainty of job. Yes, please come with an open mind that you might have a job today, but you might not have the job tomorrow, because you never know when the things go wrong and when the things can go also right for you. You can become a billionaire also in a month, and you can come down also in a day. That is a journey of working in different startups that I have attained so far. I think that's pretty much from my side, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to connect with me. Thank you so much.